Hi, everyone. This is Miranda Ward with Valuable Voices, the podcast, and I have my friend Rose Gooding Robinson here. Trying to think when we first met. I know I've seen you online. I probably sent you a friend request because that's what I do by people that inspire me, and I just want to watch them. And I got to meet her in person, just blown away by she talks on stage. She goes live on her Facebook. I've seen her grow. She's totally just vulnerable and open to sharing, and especially to help other women, I believe, just encourage them and empower them. And so I think that's kind of what attracted us to each other. I know I have that in my heart, and so does she. So Rose, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Miranda, thank you so much. And speaking of growing, girl, I remember really, I think, spending the most time with you on a trip on the beach somewhere, and
one of those trips.
Yeah, one of those trips. And you know, we all are just on this journey of trying to find our way, right? To find out who we are and make our way in the world. So
yes,
it's just been a pleasure getting to know you as well.
Yes.
And I'm honored to be on your podcast.
Oh, thank you. And I think what prompted this was I kind of was a little vulnerable on a live I did the other day, and just believing the lies that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and I can stay stuck in this place of that. And I know most of us are kind of on a journey to figure out who we are, what we love, what our purpose is, what our calling is. And I know you've done a lot in that growth. So I'd love to kind of hear, what your journey's been. What you feel like sharing on kind of not believing those lies and just becoming who you want to be.
Yeah, so I think my journey, I'm 66 years old. My journey started back in 2012 with a profound personal issue. Starting, my marriage failed, which I felt hopeless and helpless to even cope with. And
right.
Then I had a pretty devastating health diagnosis of breast cancer. And what I really learned, that the coping skills that I had used the previous 58 years of my life were not going to be the ones that served me going forward. And maybe you and your listeners can relate, where you're anxious and you're depressed and you shop too much, or you eat too much, or
right. I can relate.
Yeah. All those things are external things trying to make us feel better about what's going on, when the answer really lies within. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel that we need those big 2x4s across our head to really make us step back and say, oh my gosh,
right.
How am I going to go forward in
right.
life?
Or maybe a book or two, or somebody that you look up to that's kind of, helped you in that journey. I know we have many mentors, but who would be, a book, or what kind of got you on that path to stop eating and shopping like I do?
Yeah. So, well, I have to say that when I was going through my divorce, I started doing a meditation-like program called Centering Prayer.
Okay.
Which was taught through my church. And it was just, to put it simply, it's you welcome in the feelings.
Yeah.
And you get quiet twice a day for 20 minutes, and you try to empty your mind, which is probably the hardest thing that you ever do. Yes. And they teach you to grab onto a sacred word. And so when your monkey mind takes over, you just start repeating that sacred word. And so I practiced that for a few months with a group and daily by myself. And I couldn't believe, like, the first few weeks, I was just so emotional. I would shake, I would cry. I think I had just shoved everything down for years and years and years. And that taught me that no matter what happens in my life, there's one true person I can go to, and that's my Holy Father. Yeah. That my earthly father will disappoint me. People are human. We're not perfect. So, when you find your base and your anchor in something bigger than yourself, it could be the universe, it could be God, it could be Buddha, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Then you start to, instead of being blown way off course, you start to just waver in the wind, Mm-hmm. So that started it. And then quickly I found an author, Hal Elrod, who wrote the book, The Miracle Morning.
Yeah.
And he took it one step further where he said, the way you start your morning is the way your day happens. And so I take now, as a result of reading his books, being in his community, attending a couple of his events. Yeah, I invested in myself, you know.
Yes.
I spent some money on myself. I start most days in a little meditation, a little affirmation, some visualization, reading a few devotionals, prayer, gratitude. You take 45 to 60 minutes, get up early to do it. But you know what? It steels me against the world.
Yes. You decide how you start your day rather than, I feel like, again, I'm still kind of figuring that out, especially with back to school and every day is different.
Yeah.
But I want to be like that, you know, and I've tried different things and I've tried Miracle Morning. I just haven't been consistent. So how do you stay consistent, and what changes have you seen, you know, in doing that?
Yeah. So, you know, I just keep a little tracker sheet. So even to this day, it's just those things are listed, and every day I mentally or physically check them off. You know, I do that for my health too. Do I exercise? How many veggies am I eating every day? Am I drinking water? So, you know, periodically I'll go back and get really strict on that and make sure that I'm, you know, doing what I need to do. I have an accountability group that I'm in of other women that are pressing forward.
Yes.
But really the payoff, the benefit, Miranda, has been enormous, because it's like, now I know who I am inside, not who the world wants me to be on the outside. And I'm human, so I do waver sometimes, you know, but I can say most days I'm winning.
Yeah.
And instead of beating myself up for the things that don't go perfectly, or the things that aren't done well, or, you know, I can step back and say, that's interesting. I wonder what I can do about that, you know, or do I need to do anything about it?
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's freeing. It's been so freeing.
Yes. I know you have a beautiful beach house, which I just love your pictures. I love the inside. It's so pretty. And again, that's probably something that you visualized for so long. And that's just one instance of what happened. You know, again, what else have you seen? Just, I see it from the outside, but besides kind of feeling anchored and, you know, do you still feel like lies try to keep, you know, trickle in, or, you know, whatever, you can say the enemy comes after you or whatever, but how do you get back on track if you're down, or what visual has happened that besides the beach house? You know, again, I know you have lots of goals and dreams, and I remember even talking about your vision board way back when and what's come to fruition. But again, just give us examples maybe of what else you've seen.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes we have lots of big lofty goals, and but we never get really clear on exactly what our dreams are and how we want to get there. Well, at the end of the year, beginning of this year, I decided, you know, I was going to simplify that and just really, what were the 3 things that were super important to me? And my health was number 1. My family was number 2. And when I say health, that includes spiritual health. You know? And freedom. You know, being able to take the time I need to go hang out with my grandkids, or you know, go on a day trip, or like yesterday, a friend texted me and I dropped everything and we went for a ride and looked at leaves and had a glass of wine.
Love it.
You know?
Love it.
So, you know, really, I think just having some general areas that you're working on, and then you can put the specifics in.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I know I'd like to paddleboard. I'd like to kayak. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, the things.
Yeah.
But I think the thing I'm the most proud about is my calendar. I always said my family was important. And my kids are grown and I have grandkids, but my calendar didn't really reflect that, you know. And so I just have gotten very intentional about reaching out to my daughter-in-laws, because if you have sons, you know that beautiful daughter-in-law is the gateway to seeing your sons,
right,
and your grandchildren. Make a point to talk to my sons.
Yeah.
I'm connected to my grandkids on Snapchat and Kids Messenger, and
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of living what you say is important.
Right. I love that. And again, gosh, if I could talk to like my 20-year-old self, right, and not buy all the things, the house, the car, the clothes, like none of that to me is important anymore. But it took me years to kind of figure that out. I mean, now granted, I appreciate everything we have, but I could see it in my kids, and I just want to like, that stuff doesn't matter. It's just about the time with your precious family or friends that who knows, right?
Yes,
it is your health, and that's something you have to take care of daily. You can't just decide one day when you're retired, oh, I probably should start eating some vegetables, So I love that. I love that daily consistency, because again, I think we want it all so quick, whether we want to lose 10 pounds, whether we want financial freedom, whatever that is. I feel like that daily habit is that's the ticket, right?
Right. Yeah. And one of the things I do is when I get out of bed first thing, it's like, where's my energy? What's my energy level? So, I always usually put a 7 down, but sometimes I'm a 6. And, what I want to do is I want to ramp that up to at least an 8.
Right.
Before I show up in the world. So sometimes I'm like, the last couple of days I've been jumping around saying, I'm excited, throwing my arms up.
I love it.
and watching what happens when my energy starts to go down during the day, and, turning that around as quickly as possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So what's your next big thing? I know you've got these little goals, not little, because these are awesome goals, but they sound so simple. So, like what's your daily, what are you excited about every day? I know you encourage a ton of women, me being one of them. I know you're doing Facebook Lives, but like, what's next?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm kind of wrestling with that right now. I love helping people discover their better health and their better self and their better mind. And, there's got to be a way that I can do that on a larger scale.
Yes.
I've toyed around with, I really would love to do some public speaking. I've toyed around with the idea of writing a book.
Yes. All those things.
Yeah. So, and being 66, you're in the third act of your life, so of course I'm going to live to be a ripe old age, but you don't know. So it's like, what kind of legacy do I want to leave, when I'm gone? What do I want people to say about who I was? And really, what basically it boils down to going out and loving people and serving them, and then watching what happens as a result. Because I can't control their results. All I can control is my effort, right?
Yes. Definitely can't change others.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Especially through, just talk about like the last 6 months in COVID and, how that has changed. Everyone's just slowing down and looking inside and like, okay, I lost this, or now this life is different, or now we're doing this instead. And I think we all kind of took a step back to be like, okay, wait a minute, what's important to me?
Yeah.
If we don't go back to normal, how do I want to spend my days? Right?
Yeah. And, I'm pretty much an extrovert. I love people. I do love spending time by myself to recharge, but I can't see a world where we're not physically together. I think it's coming to the end of that. People want to be together now, even if they have to wear masks, and so I just think things are going to shift here again pretty soon. Yeah, I
can't wait till we can go out on those cruise ships, or maybe not cruise ships, but trips, and the beach and the conferences, and just hug everybody. I just miss everybody so much. So you have just been such a blessing in my life. So many good nuggets. I love the Miracle Morning. That's something great to check out. And I love how you can make it your own. He gives great guidelines and reasons why we want to start our day that way. So that would be my biggest takeaway, is do that and just do what's important to you. I love how simple it is. These 3 things are important. And if my calendar or my life doesn't reflect that, then something's got to shift, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And, I think we tell ourselves stories about how we think we are.
Yeah.
Richard Brooke is another mentor of mine. He pointed out to me that I was telling myself a story through the eyes of a 4-year-old girl. And was that story was it accurate?
Right.
And, who is Rose as the woman? So from the little girl who I gave the name of Dumbass, to the woman, powerful woman.
Yes.
Right? So we are all powerful women inside. We just need to find the key to unlock that belief.
Amen. And I know we've talked about comparison, and it's so easy to do with social media, and just owning who you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to replicate anybody else, even though sometimes I feel like I want to be, because I want some aspects of that person's life, but it's like, you do it your way.
Yeah.
And I just feel like God has a plan for all of us. So, well, thank you for being on here. I treasure just our time together and who you are, and just watching you again become this powerful woman has been amazing. So thankful you are in my life.
Thank you.
Just look forward to the next time we can give each other hugs.
Yes, I do too. And just thank you for doing these podcasts and
sure.
The voices out of people who are on the road, right?
Yes. Well, thank you all for listening. And if anybody knows anybody, I believe, again, everybody has a valuable voice and everybody has a story inside them and something to share. So that's really my mission. And again, I just want to provide valuable people that have encouraged me and empowered me, because I think there's a lot of voices out there, and I think you just have to be careful with who you're listening to. So thanks so much, Rose. Enjoy your day.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. Thanks
Take
for
care.
listening.